Hi, I'm Dr. Amrita Tandon. I'm a gynecologist, IVF and infertility specialist working at Dr. Sudha Tandon Hospital. And today I would like to speak on recurrent pregnancy loss. So, how do you define recurrent pregnancy loss? Recurrent pregnancy loss is basically defined as the loss of 2 or more pregnancies before the period of viability, that is before 24 weeks of gestation. So that means if any woman has lost or miscarried 2 or more pregnancies, it comes under the definition of recurrent pregnancy loss. Why is this important and what is the incidence of this? So, miscarriage as such, a single miscarriage can occur in about 15 to 25% of pregnancies. But the incidence of 2 or more miscarriages is about 2 to 3% of all pregnancies. So recurrent pregnancy loss is particularly a difficult situation for couples to face, as they face a lot of emotional and mental trauma due to the loss of 2 pregnancies. It is also important for such couples to seek medical evaluation and treatment, because there is a lot that can be offered to these couples. Coming to the causes of recurrent pregnancy loss. When we broadly look at the causes of recurrent pregnancy loss, we find that the chance of a fetus surviving to viability or a woman having a healthy baby is the maximum if the woman herself is healthy, young. So, the least chance of a pregnancy loss is in a woman between the age of 20 and 35 years of age. Beyond 35 and 40 years of age, the chance of pregnancy loss increases quite a bit. There is also an increase in pregnancy loss, and especially recurrent pregnancy loss, in obese women, in women who smoke, women who consume a lot of alcohol, and women who have a bad lifestyle. So these are the general causes of RPL, what we call recurrent pregnancy loss. If you look at the other causes of RPL, they can be divided into various categories. So, firstly, starting with genetic causes. Now, genetic causes can be seen in about 2 to 5% of couples who have had 2 or more pregnancy losses. These can be in the form of some balanced translocations, and these translocations can then be carried forward to the fetus, and the fetus can be affected with a genetic abnormality and undergo a miscarriage. Another important cause of recurrent pregnancy loss is the APLA syndrome, which is the antiphospholipid antibody syndrome. This is a type of acquired thrombophilia wherein antibodies are formed against various placental tissues and proteins in the body, in the maternal circulation, and these can affect the fetus and cause miscarriage. You will be surprised to know that about 50 to 40% of women who have had recurrent pregnancy loss may have these antibodies present. So it is very important to test for them. There is a rarer type of inherited thrombophilias that some women may have, but testing for these inherited thrombophilias is not yet mandatory or would not always be advised to you in your first visit. Another very common cause of recurrent pregnancy loss is anatomical defects. We know that a normal uterine cavity, fallopian tubes, ovaries, cervix, everything is required for firstly fertilization to occur, implantation to occur, and then for the baby to carry till term. So if there is any genetic abnormality, a congenital abnormality in the uterus, like there may be a septum in the uterus, which divides the uterine cavity, that can be a cause of pregnancy loss. Sometimes the endometrial cavity may have polyps or submucosal fibroids, intrauterine adhesions, and other anatomical problems, due to which the pregnancy does not carry beyond the period of viability and it can miscarry in the first or the second trimester. One more important cause of a pregnancy loss in the second trimester, especially between 12 to 20 weeks, is cervical incompetence, where the cervix is not strong enough. It may lead to shortening of the cervix and loss of pregnancy. It is important to know these causes and investigate them correctly so that your future pregnancy may have a better outcome. And other causes of RPL are hormonal causes. Very commonly we find hypothyroidism or subclinical hypothyroidism in women who undergo miscarriages, especially in the first trimester. So, any thyroid abnormalities, any overt diabetes, even common conditions like PCOS can be a cause of RPL, and this is required to be evaluated in detail so the correct diagnosis and treatment can be given to you. There are other rarer causes of recurrent pregnancy loss like immunological causes and various problems in the male sperm that may cause RPL. But testing for this has not become standardized, and hence I will not be discussing these causes in detail. Now, once you come to the clinic, the couple is usually advised a variety of tests. Firstly, a very important factor for the treatment in couples who face 2 or more pregnancy loss is to take a detailed history, to examine the patient, and then we would advise the patient investigations. Now, we have already spoken about the causes. So, the routine tests that a couple will be advised if they have undergone more than 2 pregnancy losses would be a basic ultrasound of the pelvis, and if required, a 3D ultrasound. Hormonal tests like TSH, prolactin, blood sugars, and maybe a PCOS profile. If there is reason to believe that genetic causes could be a problem or could be the reason for the RPL, you may be advised a parental karyotype, where the karyotype of the patient as well as her partner would be done. And sometimes when women miscarry, the products of conception can also be sent for karyotyping so that we know that whether the fetus was affected with a genetic abnormality or not. Testing for thrombophilias, especially the antibodies in the APLA syndrome, is offered to all women because, like I said, this is commonly found in patients who repeatedly miscarry. Some further testing for inherited thrombophilias may be advised to you by your doctor. A few advanced tests may also be advised to you in the form of a sperm DNA fragmentation test to know whether the male sperm is responsible for this possibility of a pregnancy loss, and certain immunological tests like HLA may be advised to you for further evaluation. But unfortunately, still about 50% of the causes for RPL are unknown, and this is known as unexplained RPL, where we cannot pinpoint and say that this was the reason for your repeated pregnancy loss. And that's why it is a difficult diagnosis and it is a difficult treatment for both the patient as well as the doctor. Now, when it comes to treatment, there are some causes that can be treated, and these give us very good results after treatment. For example, when we look at the anatomical factors, we see that if there was a septum and we resect the septum hysteroscopically, we find that pregnancies following removal of this uterine septum do carry to term. Removal of fibroids, polyps, intrauterine adhesions, hysteroscopically or laparoscopically also helps women who have had recurrent pregnancy loss due to anatomical factors. A cervical encirclage, either done vaginally or laparoscopically, can prevent loss due to cervical incompetency. Genetic testing, like I said earlier, with the parental karyotype or the fetal karyotype, may give us some idea as to the cause of the recurrent pregnancy loss. These patients would be given extensive genetic counseling, and they may be advised a process called as pre-genetic pre-implantation testing for aneuploidies by undergoing IVF, so that we can test the embryos prior to implantation in the uterus. And by this way, we ensure that we put the best and the most genetically normal embryos into the woman, so this etiology can be taken care of. Thirdly, APLA syndrome, if women are diagnosed with antiphospholipid antibodies, these women are put on low-dose aspirin and low molecular weight heparin for the course of their pregnancy. And we find that these pregnancies do better when they are treated with heparin and aspirin. Treatment of simple conditions like hypothyroidism, diabetes, PCOS can improve the outcomes in pregnancy. Most importantly, it is required that the woman should have a healthy lifestyle. She should have a normal BMI. She should stop smoking, stop alcohol. Not just the woman, but it is important for the male partner to stop smoking, stop alcohol intake, maintain a normal BMI. And this usually helps them have a successful pregnancy. Lastly, reassurance and extensive counseling of these couples who have had 2 or more pregnancy losses is extremely important. So whenever such couples come to us with a history of 2 or more pregnancy losses, we treat them as a whole. We try to come to a diagnosis and we give them the extra attention and the necessary counseling for future pregnancies, because generally we see that even if they have had 2 or more pregnancy losses, the outcome of a 3rd or a 4th pregnancy may not necessarily be bad. Of course, progesterone supplements given right from the beginning of pregnancy test becoming positive is very common, and this is one of the prophylactic treatments given to women with RPL. So if you've had a miscarriage or more than 2 miscarriages, do not get disheartened. Please get evaluated by a specialist and let your doctor come to a good diagnosis, and have faith that your subsequent pregnancy will be successful. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have any more queries, please comment and we would be glad to solve all your queries. Please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information, you can follow our Instagram and Facebook page.